minutes. I think I have about 2 minutes. I'm going to ask Matthew to. Matthew, I want to give you the privilege of talking about Kenya. Forget about the English people for a minute. Let's talk about Kenya. We're going to. I think this is important for us. You're going to talk to us about Jaza Center.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me set up, we're going to show another video. So the Jaza Center was founded by an entrepreneurial couple named Joseph and Leah Gachunge. They're Kenyan, and they ran into a problem in their life. They started to have kids, and there is a cultural norm here that when you reach the middle class and you're having children, you will probably employ a domestic worker. And those can take a variety of different forms. That could be a nanny or a cook, or sometimes it's a gardener. And they're Kenyans, and yet when they came to that point in their life, started to have children, they had a really difficult time finding someone to help around the house that they felt like they could trust, was a good fit with their family. Interestingly, when we lived here, we had God connect us in an amazing situation, but I've heard real horror stories, and being from the culture doesn't necessarily solve that for someone like Joseph and Leah. So they looked at this, and they're entrepreneurs, and said, we see a business opportunity here. And so we had the privilege of training them in our Entrepreneur Academy, and the later in our Fast Track Accelerator program. And they have launched the Jaza Center to specifically target this need of training and placing domestic workers in families, a little bit in corporate environments, but largely with families, helping women generally receive training that allow them to plug into National Social Security, national medicine, to see their wages increase by up to 50%. Because of the additional skills that they build, they're able to stay longer in placements, and they have spiritual integration in the training that they offer. So I believe we're going to show that video, correct? So let you hear from them now.
So the domestic service industry in Kenya is highly informalized. We have really no structure. There is no training strategy for domestic workers. We also have employers who have no guidelines. The government has not put measures to hold them accountable. And that is how now Jaza Center was born, to bridge the gap. Running a kingdom business for us means impacting both socially and spiritually to the people we interact with. So from our internal employees, to the domestic workers we train, the customers we serve, and also the community around us. We believe a lot in actions and what you do in terms of glorifying God. So I don't have to say I am saved or I love God. We want to see you action it.
We have introduced a discipleship program which is run by a pastor every Thursday, like once a week. It's part of our curriculum. When you instill the kingdom principles to these people when they're going to work, the way they view the work, the way they view the employers, the way they interact with everyone else is totally different.
The Jaza Center is critically looking at increasing its social impact and possibly being able to reach out to the estimated 2 million domestic workers in Kenya. Would want to venture the East African market and build on the impact, the social impact that you're already doing here in Kenya. Some of our beneficiaries have been able to support their children through school. They are able to save their money, and once they accumulate so much, they're able to borrow and do projects of their own choice. So they can buy land, build homes, and just basically support themselves economically and improve their lives.
So to add just a little bit more to that, Joseph and Leah were part of the FDI marketplace and received an investment into the business. They're targeting 1,000 domestic workers trained and placed per year. And my personal reflection on this, I lived here, I had some sense of the challenges that domestic workers would face and what that might mean, the lack of a marketplace or businesses to solve this problem. But if I dedicated my life to that endeavor, I don't think I would have my thumb on the pulse in the way that Joseph and Leah do, because they're Kenyan, because they understand the dynamics. Again, to this idea of dreaming big, they've got this idea. There's 2 million domestic workers here in just this market, and they're finding ways to serve them, to train them, to empower them. There's dignity infused in the whole thing. And so again, just celebrating the amazing people that God is raising up inside these markets, and the fact that we get to serve them is just this enormous privilege.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it.